Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Please invite others. How are we doing? I'm sorry I came up late this afternoon. I resumed work in our new school by around 8:30 because I had to drive from Ogeli. I felt so much joy and had a sense of fulfillment driving from Ogeli to Okwokoko to work, and it was quite invigorating. But I also had to work on my mind that the distance between Ogeli and Warri is like a street. Ogeli and Okwokoko is like a street in Lagos, and so I adjusted to the schedule. I'm so happy that the school has started here and people are coming. There's one thing I will want you to learn. It is investment and continuous reinvestment. A lot of us make money. Well, immediately we make money, we are looking for what to spend it on. I bought this land here about 20 years back. I must have told you that I bought it for 300,000 or 350 then, and we had sold quite a lot from it. And we still have quite some. But where we built on is about 30 to 32 million naira worth in the market now. So I could have spent that money on frivolities, to buy a car, to go on a lousy holiday, and I won't have anything to show for. But even building this place is as a result of monies we generated from other investments and businesses. So the truth of the matter is that if you keep reinvesting, your money would produce dividends. By the time you reinvest the dividends of what you have invested on in another business, that business becomes profit. I can rightly tell you that this school is like profit. This beautiful edifice here is like profit because their grandchild is a grandchild of the other school. So when you invest money, if you invest money and it produces another business, that business is like a grandchild. That's why in 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to verse 7, particularly in verse 7, Elisha told the woman, the widow, go sell the oil and pay your debts and live on the rest. The ability to live on the rest is very important. Very, very important. The ability to live on the rest is very, very important. That is, when you invest, when you are 40, try as much as possible to invest what you will live on at 60 and 63 to 70. I'm 63 now. I started that investment in the school when I was 40. I don't really need to come here. My daughter came and she's been working there when I came on break. So when you are 40, lay the foundations for things you will enjoy at 60. Think definitively. Think in such a way that you don't need to be financially dependent upon any person when you are 60 and above. Somebody, I think it's Benjamin Franklin, that said that we get old too quickly and wise too late. So make sure that you respect the money in your hand, you invest the money in such a way that the dividends of your investment, if they are reinvested, you can have a progressive increase in income and wealth, that you can live a comfortable life at my age bracket. This is very important, extremely important. And if you are a wise person, whatever I'm telling you now, take it to heart. Try as much as possible to invest your money and then reinvest. God helping you, you will now have the results of your investment as dividends you can live on. And let me also let you know that you are the best person to manage your resources, your investments. So please try and learn that. And it makes old age very comfortable. I found out that old age, according to Bishop John Bienosef, old age is not an illness. It just needs maintenance. It just needs the right food to eat, the right atmosphere to live in, the right medications to take. I checked my blood pressure before I left home, and I drank the right kind of tea I'm supposed to drink. There are medications I need to take now at this age, and I took. So please learn to invest and reinvest. A lot of people will not share this with you. Okay, we are 20 now. I was thinking when we're up to 30, then I will start the main topic. So if there are any questions you want to ask, you can ask me, and I will talk on such subjects before we move on. I'm not too technologically savvy. I don't know if comments are already on. Can somebody make a comment? Let me see. I'm pressing the comments section. I'm not seeing any. Okay. So I want to talk about asserting yourself. Not being rude. The first thing before, some people will exist and not really live. They will not have any identity throughout life. You will just be afraid of offending people. You're afraid of saying the truth. You're afraid of demanding for your rights. You're afraid of asking to be paid adequately. You're afraid of being treated rightly. I did that for so many years until I got to a stage that I felt that if I continued like that, I would not have lived. So, what did I do? Number one, try as much as possible to be financially independent. Start early in your life to be financially independent. There's an Urobo saying that says, Ego riohunu, that money will open your mouth and you will have boldness to speak. If you don't have money, you won't be able to speak. You won't be able to voice your opinions. No person will take you seriously. remember uh, the the wise man that saved a small village. After they saved the village, he became irrelevant. No person took his counsel seriously. So very early in life, I started pursuing financial independence. That was why very early I was looking for how to do business, do get do things that could generate money. So even though I was working in a hospital, I was selling secondhand clothing. I was selling secondhand clothing. Uh, I was selling secondhand clothing, and it helped me to one way or the other offset my liabilities. Then I also had extra clinics where I worked, and I could be paid. But what I tried to do early, as I was working, I was buying things to set up my practice. I bought things that will not get spoiled. I bought surgical materials, bought artery forceps, I bought speculums, I bought retractors, I bought surgical scissors, I bought sterilizing kits. Over the years, I was accumulating them because I knew that I wanted to start my own practice 2 years after I ran that 40-bed hospital for that man. So when I was 29, I set up that practice. And since then, I have not worked for any person. I have not worked for any person. So, if you don't have your own business that you are doing, and you don't have resources that you generate on your own, if you are depending on people to a large extent, you cannot assert yourself. You will take a lot of rubbish. One of the things that you will find in Christianity is that the teaching is that Jesus was such a peaceful man, was such a nice guy, that you could imagine him to be a sissy. That is somebody that was pushed here and there. He was not. Jesus was a tough man. In Matthew chapter 16, verse 23, when Peter was telling him that he will not go to the cross, Peter was older than him, so to say, but he was his disciple. I'm not saying you should disrespect old people. But he told him that, get behind me, Satan. What I am talking about, the spirit that is talking from you does not understand what I'm saying. That was a very harsh statement for somebody close to you. The next thing was that I think a king sent for him, said, go tell that fox. And then when he got to the temple and they were buying and selling, he formed a whip and flogged them. When you asked him a question, he will assert who he is. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. You ask him a question, he will ask you, who do your own people cast out demons through? So you don't just because you are a Christian, just accept every rubbish. Number one, you must try to define who you are. When you define who you are, people respect you. When you define who you are, people do not mold you to fit what they want out of you. When I came into healing, the perspective was that some people had had an impression of who a pastor is supposed to be, had an impression on who I am supposed to be, based on the size of my church, based on the way I dressed, based on the house I was living in as at that time, based on the clothes I wore, based on the cars I drove, and the tendency was to look down on me, but I refused it. I made them realize who I was. I made them realize who I was worth. I made them realize my content. I am not afraid of somebody who does not like me. You will spend the whole of your life trying to make people like you. You will eventually find out that no person really cares about you. They only care about themselves. So, if you are struggling to impress people, you're just wasting your time. If you give me an opportunity to speak, I say the truth. The fear of man will turn out to be a snare. If Abraham was afraid of going to sacrifice Isaac because of Sarah, Abraham would have lost that covenant relationship opportunity with God. You see, as men, one of the things you must learn is that don't, because of the desire for sex, one of the things Madam can use to hold you to ransom is if you like sex, and then it becomes a bait that even when she has done something wrong, you will be apologizing so that you can have sex. I conquered that. It's only the fear of God that I have. Recently, I was to go and speak somewhere. It coincided with the period where my daughter was to wed. But that program had been booked months before my daughter and the husband fixed theirs. And the church had advertised at Warri, placed billboards, spent money, advertised on radio. I told my daughter and the husband that I was going to speak in that program. I'll be present for the traditional marriage, be present in the church for the wedding, but as the reception will be on, I will go and continue that program on Saturday, and I will preach on Sunday. As the reception was on, the church came to carry me, and I went, and I spoke, and my wife was calling. I knew she was angry, but brethren, it did not bother me. It was God that made it possible for my daughter to marry. It was God that gave me the resources to build wherever they were doing the reception. I cannot now, because of a testimony that God made to happen, not disappoint a church or negate God's work. So I went there. I know that when I come back, she might not greet me. I know that when I come back, she might pack her face. I know that when I come back, if I want to go to Jerusalem, the airport will be closed. Me, I didn't care. But when I came back, she was the one that sent me a message that I should forget what happened and that we should move on. If I was afraid of her, I wouldn't go there. And I blessed the church. And the church was a blessing to me. So, if I was afraid, I told myself that there are girls who marry and their fathers are late. So, assuming I was dead, wouldn't my daughter marry? Wouldn't there be a reception? Assuming I was not around. You see, all these children, wife, and all that. There's a time you become a second option. They don't. So I went ahead and did what I was supposed to do. The church was blessed. I was blessed, and I think my wife was also blessed because the church gave me a bag of rice, and I gave the bag of rice to her, and she was happy. The women though came and thanked her for releasing me. A few days back, I was to go and speak in my friend's church, T.Y. Emmanuel. I didn't know that the calendar I was looking at was due for, the date was there. Until he called me that morning, and I woke up and I told my wife, I'm supposed to go and preach in Port Harcourt. She was angry. I'm going to do God's work. This is not romance. I went and preached. Some points I made in that program on Sunday are going to be eternal sources of blessing to the body of Christ and to that church in particular. I went. Listen, as a preacher, if you are dependent on some benefactors, you can never preach the truth. If you are dependent upon a politician, you can never preach the truth. If you are afraid of offending one person or the other, you can never preach the truth. Don't struggle to be liked. Do your best to please God. When God is with you, your enemies will be at peace with you. Be very diplomatic. Be very cautious. Be very respectful. Be very sincere to people. Don't defraud people. But at the same time, I beg of you, don't live in such a way that it is men that determine your message, it is men that determine what is right for you and what is wrong for you. At the same time, if you render a service to somebody, let him pay you. Place a right price tag on your person. Don't go and grumble outside if they treat you like trash. I must have told you about a bishop that I went to preach in his church. Before I became a bishop, I went there, drove there with Reverend Bojo. 3 days, I finished preaching. I think he gave me 12,000 naira. I bought fuel to go to and fro. That was more than that amount. Just gave me trash. And I told him, you will become a bishop. After 2 weeks, he became a bishop. I saw him in a ceremony. He just looked at me as if I was a talakawa. I also ignored him. I didn't run to go and greet him. I ignored him. I know Anglican bishops, archbishops that I know who are my younger ones, who are my friends. When we see each other, we hug, we greet. Some of them are the ones who come to meet me to greet me. There's no big deal about it. But we respect each other mutually. Don't treat me like trash. Then he sent for me that I should come and deliver a lecture. If you don't run a church, most people who invite you think that they are doing you a privilege. But when you have a base, something that generates revenue for you, you can assert yourself. There was a time I took all kinds of rubbish. Please note this. There's a time as you are coming up, you can take all kinds of rubbish until you develop content, you develop capacity, you develop charisma, you have cash, and then you can assert yourself. And I told Bishop, for me to come and preach and speak on that message, you must apologize for your treating me like trash the last time I came. And you must atone for your sins. And he did. And when I went to speak, he treated me well. And then his priest wanted me to come and speak. If I just degenerate to go and to start speaking for his priests, my value will reduce. I told the priest he must pass through his bishop. Don't throw yourself on the ground stupidly. No. Add value to yourself. That's why I said you must cultivate financial independence early. If I do a transaction with you and there is a certain percentage you are supposed to give to me, I have found out that religious people, church people, will not want to give you that percentage that is your entitlement. I will call you and remind you. I will call you, my boy. I will call you and remind you I am entitled to this. It's true. If you are owing me, I will call you. If you are coming to my school, you must pay your bills. If you don't pay your bills and the school collapses, you will go to another school and you will make mockery of me. I have neighbors around me whose children do not attend my school. And they will want to go and bury their fathers and their mothers. They will want me to bring my school buses out to carry people to go and to attend the ceremonies. I don't agree. I will tell you these buses are strictly for the school. I can give you money to join to what you have to rent your buses. That is the way it is. If you use your Mercedes to carry firewood, the day somebody wants to carry bricks, he will call you that he wants to use it. You must learn to draw boundaries for people. Draw boundaries for people. Create boundaries. One of the things that people will use to want to intimidate you. I'm your follower on Facebook. I listen to your program on radio. With all due respect, don't respect me if you are going to tell me rubbish. If you tell me rubbish, I will fire you. I'm intellectually violent. I will fire you so that you will learn to stay off me, stay off my back. So that is the way it is. You mess up around me and you think that you can just mess up around me and go freely. I'll mess you up. That is the way it is. You must draw boundaries. You must make people learn to respect you. You must make people learn to respect you. You must make people learn to respect your business. I had a politician, he will come to my school, he will get to this. This is somebody that couldn't pay school fees for some time, that I was helping to carry his child and allow him to stay without paying for until he gets money. He came to my school one day with mobile policeman and was turning siren round in my school. Well, when I came out, when I looked at him viciously. He offed it. Who are you? Are you the first politician? No. There was somebody who came and was trying to mess up around my teacher. I rebuked him. As a PhD, I rebuked him. And he eventually apologized. You see, people will test you whether you will quake. People will test you whether you will back off. They will want to try you. And what baffles me is that a lot of them will think that they want to shine with Dr. Apoki, that they have hollered him or have messed up with him. I don't allow that. I don't allow that. And then there are duties you have overgrown. The Bible says, him whom the Lord has honored and knoweth it not is like a beast that perisheth in the wilderness. If God has honored you and you don't know it, you are like an animal that perishes in the wilderness. So you must know where God has placed you. You must know where He has placed you. There was a denomination I was preaching for. I went to preach for them. We got to a Babinez hotel. They went and rented one dirty part of the hotel for me to stay. I told them I won't stay here. Stay here. I moved to another part of the hotel and they paid. You are taking my health, you are taking my strength, you are taking my knowledge, and the people are paying to attend, and you want to treat me, you want me to sleep and fall sick. Oh, sorry for the break in transmission. There was a connection failure. I will not accept that. What I have now learned in these years is that by the time you start asserting yourself, the time you start saying, this is who I am, this is what I am, this is the way I want to be treated, this is what I stand for, people will respect you and they will learn to start conforming. When they are coming towards you, they adjust to meet your taste, adjust to meet your standards, adjust to meet your specifications. Every person wants to intimidate somebody. If you allow it, you will lose your identity throughout life. You will just exist without living. Try and find your voice. Try and define your person. Try as much as possible to let people know that you are a human being just like them, and don't be a sissy. Don't be somebody that is a pushover. Oh, when I started preaching, he is a motivational speaker. He is this. I've proven to them that I'm not just talking rubbish. I have produced results. So, in as much as you are defining yourself, produce results. Your results are the best defendants of your philosophy, principles, and personality. So, I thank you for listening to me, and I hope that the things I've shared with you have made some meaning. We're about to close in the school. I think they've closed. I need to round up so that I can do other things. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. And if there is any subject matter you want me to talk about, you can send a message at the comment section, and then you can subsequently also send a message to me on WhatsApp, 07052136763. If you are calling from outside Nigeria, +2347052136763. Send me a message on WhatsApp or give me a call, and then visit our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook. Those of you who have been asking that I have not been on Facebook, thank God I am back. I plan to be doing a daily broadcast from this school here anytime I come here to work. Thank you so much for your encouragement. I couldn't see the comments. I don't know what I was supposed to press. I'm not too smart with these things. I couldn't see the comments, but I will see the comments later and I will respond to them. God bless you. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.